Last of Us 2 is a game most of us have waited for a long time. The first going down is a must-play game for everyone who is a fan of storytelling and apocalyptic worlds. And yes, that giraffe scene goes down as one of my favourite memories in video games ever. The sequel we waited for a long time finally arrived, and for me it was fantastic. Solid gameplay we knew to expect, beautiful world to explore, and just a great time to play through. We have all seen the review bombing, death threats that have been aimed at a character in the game. Now I'm not here to tell you who's right and wrong, but a view from my feelings about the game, the good and the bad. The world itself is beautiful, as we would expect. The environmental detail put into the game is stunning. Everything in the world seems real. You can see the time and attention went into expanding the world from the first game. With new locations to explore, always seamless transitions from cutscenes to in-game play. Naughty Dog really do a great job of keeping you connected to the world. With some new infected to keep you on your toes, the game never feels repeated. You never know whether it's going to be infected or human enemies you have to go against, or whether you can just explore without any threat. You have that constant feeling there may be enemies just around the corner. Naughty Dog really make you feel a part of this world. The Uncharted feeling came into my mind quite a few times, some epic action sequences that really do deserve some praise. The burning village late on the game is just stunning to look at, all while racing through on a horse to try and escape. It's just beautiful to see. Oh, and the kills are just brutal and brilliant. Did I know what you're getting your wings clipped meant? No? Well, I do now. It just shows some of the savage world that these characters live in. The gameplay mechanics of The Last of Us 2 is just perfect. If you've played the first game, you know the controls feel clunky. You aren't trained Navy SEAL, just a normal person put in an extraordinary situation. The guns have terrible aim, that isn't a bad thing at all. It's a choice that plays off perfect and makes you think how else to get out of this situation. Even if you're not going to like the story in this game, it's a must play for anybody who wants to explore a new world. Now it's time for the story, and the constant back and forth in my mind about how I feel about it. This story is going to divide people, no question about it, but why shouldn't it? It is not what the storytelling should do. I've had many conversations with friends who have played it, and we all have thoughts and opinions, and I think there's something to credit The Last of Us 2, not to dismiss the game altogether. So after The Last of Us 1, we know that Ellie was the cure, and only one doctor could create the vaccine and save what is left of people in this world. Joel then finds out the procedure would kill Ellie. This in itself is now a massive question about the needs of many outweigh the needs of the few. I was on the camp as many other people were, and I think Joel made the right decision. Naughty Dog made us care so much about Joel and Ellie in the first game that we didn't want either one of them to die. This brings us to the big deal with The Last of Us 2 story that many people have a problem with. We are so drawn into the world of Joel and Ellie, we forgot that whatever they do has consequences. We forgot that they aren't the only two people in the world trying to survive. The Last of Us 2 starts how we could expect, catch up on what's going on, introduce us to new characters, mainly Abby. What it does so well off the bat is we don't know what is about to come. Joel is off scouting out areas, we haven't seen much of him. Naughty Dog shows no hint of what's to come and takes us into a comfortable feeling. Nothing bad will happen to anyone yet, and they'll rip us into such a fantastic and brutal way no matter how you feel it was a brilliant move on their part. We start to play as Abby and go off and explore. We soon get swarmed with infected, then Joel and Tommy come out of nowhere and save Abby from getting bit. Then she takes us back to what we think is going to be safety. Then we get ambushed, shot and beaten. We did not expect it. Games need more of these moments to take us out and make us step back. Later on, Ellie finds where Joel is, and in my head I'm thinking this is where we'll save Joel and all will be good. How wrong I'll be. The moment you go into you get ambushed and held down, you think still be fine, someone will save us, but no. Now the acting for this scene is heartbreakingly fantastic. Animation of the face of the characters you cannot fault. Ellie's screams will haunt me forever. Joel's defeated body just lying there, the final blow to the head. Your whole thoughts about what may become The Last of Us 2 are thrown out. You now don't know what to expect. People can now die when and wherever. That's what the story needs, it doesn't happen enough. Don't get me wrong, I hate that I didn't get to play as Joel or have more time with him. That's what I really wanted for The Last of Us 2. But at the same time, without this moment, this game would not now live with me forever. I will never forget this scene. From the moment that they don't kill Ellie or Tommy, you can guess that this is going to become a revenge story. Now just for Ellie or Tommy, but also, you later find out it's a revenge story also for Abby. This is where The Last of Us 2 makes me feel like I don't want to play as Abby. I don't think there's just one problem that you can pinpoint and say that's a problem with the story. There's many possibilities, but this depends on the way you see it. Both Ellie and Abby in this game are revenge stories on both killings of their fathers. We all know Joel isn't really Ellie's father, but the bond they share is the same relationship as Abby and her father. Abby has every right to get revenge on Joel, killing the one man that can create a cure and save thousands of lives. That's the only reason anyone would need you, me included. And playing as Abby would have been fine, but the fact we immediately hate Abby so close to the start of the game takes away any support or feelings I'd have for her. Let's be honest, playing as her I feel no connection. She dies, why would I be bothered? No. The battles we have later pigeonholed against Ellie, I didn't want to play at all. Ellie in my eyes can do no wrong. I've chosen my side, I think Naughty Dog decided for us as well, with the placement of Joel's death. They tried to make us feel sympathy for Abby with her father being killed, but we are too attached to Ellie and Joel to care what they have done. Were they selfish to not let Ellie die to cure the world? Most likely. But that's not the inner question for us to decide. What choice would we make if we were in that situation? An outsider according to Last of 2 might say Abby is in the right and did the right thing. Joel was stupid to save Ellie. Why should she live while others could have been saved? The real question is whose life is worth more? Who are we to play God? I think if Joel's death happened later on, maybe we would feel the same thing for Abby. But throughout the campaign I didn't feel sorry for her enough to care. Pigeons against Ellie just made me want to put the controller down. The whole campaign then asks the question, is revenge from either side worth it? Ellie has a life with Dina and a baby. Abby is travelling the USA to find sanctuary. Is Ellie just all of us playing we would stop at nothing to get our revenge on Abby? We get a final fight sequence when we catch up again with Abby tied to a post to die, untie her and escape to a boat. And Ellie finally gets a chance for revenge. We have Abby pinned underwater almost dead. Then we get what I think is a great quick flashback of Joel on the porch playing guitar, which awakens Ellie from her rage, to which she lets Abby go. While Ellie breaks down in the water, the flashbacks makes me ask these questions. Would Joel want us to kill Abby? Spend our lives out for revenge? Just find a family and stay safe with which Ellie has? Or is this whole journey a waste of time? There is many ways you can look at it. When Ellie returns home, Dina and the children have gone. Was it really worth it for Ellie to lose everything? Last of Us 2 is a game everyone should experience. Create their own thoughts and opinions, that's what keeps the story alive. The flashback stories with Joel just walking around a museum is just some of the best times I've had playing a video game. Sitting in the space pod with the tape playing is just beautiful. Should the story have been played differently? Different things happen at different points in the game? Maybe they should. But after thinking about it and not rushing my thoughts, I wouldn't have Last of Us 2 any other way.